Chosen one, you'll regret ignoring this prophetic date. Avoid July 17th and 18th. These are not ordinary days. These are not just calendar dates to be skimmed over or passed through without awareness. These are prophetic days wrapped in mystery, marked in the spiritual realm long before they were marked on paper. July 17th and 18th are days that hold unusual energy, unseen shifts, and life-altering consequences. They have been whispered about in the realm of the spirit, assigned a divine weight you cannot afford to overlook. To ignore them is to ignore a warning sent with love. And to embrace this awareness is to protect yourself from a misstep that cannot be reversed. Watch this video until the end, because every moment of it has been crafted to keep you ahead of what is coming. Write your warmest wishes and 777 in the comments section, not just to speak them, but to declare them into the energy of the universe. This is a chapter where your wishes become vibrations and your words become keys that open new doors. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. There is something deeply spiritual about being forewarned. It's not fear that is being delivered, it's preparation. It's not doom that's knocking. It's the voice of destiny urging you to stay alert. The difference between those who rise and those who fall often comes down to one thing: awareness. And July 17th and 18th are days that demand your full attention. The decisions you make during this time, the places you allow your spirit to go, and the voices you choose to heed all have greater consequences than they normally would. These dates act like spiritual crossroads, and when you stand at a crossroad, your next step defines your direction. These are days when distractions will increase. The enemy often amplifies noise right before clarity tries to speak. That's why some of the people around you may suddenly seem more agitated, or why your thoughts might feel louder than usual. It's not by accident. It's because you are close to something spiritually potent. And July 17th and 18th are windows in the atmosphere that either swing open to greatness or slam shut with regret. What you choose will determine how the energy of those dates shapes your path. You may begin to feel things before you even understand them. A sense of urgency, a gut feeling, a dream that returns again and again. These are not coincidences. These are alerts. Heaven is tapping on your shoulder. Your soul knows that something is rising, and your spirit is picking up what your mind hasn't processed yet. The reason why you're hearing this now is because you are being guided, not left behind. These dates have already been discussed in heaven long before they were announced here on earth. Do not treat these days casually. July 17th and 18th carry prophetic significance that is connected to your calling. These are days where either delays are broken or they are multiplied. These are moments where your obedience matters more than your comfort, where silence is safer than speaking out of turn, where rest is more powerful than running. This is not about doing more. It's about being in divine position. Because being out of position on those days can cause you to miss something irreplaceable. The signs are already here. Some of you have been waking up at specific times. Some of you have felt emotional waves for no reason. You've experienced moments where your chest felt tight without explanation. That's spiritual communication. The divine realm is urging you to prepare. There's a shift coming, and these 2 days hold the turning point. It's not about what happens to the world on those dates. It's about what shifts in your world during that time. And when you look back, you will remember these moments as the time you chose wisely. The regret of ignoring a prophetic instruction is not in the moment. It's after. It's in the days, weeks, and months that follow when you realize what you could have avoided, embraced, or realigned with. This message is your grace note, your gentle, yet bold, nudge from God. You are not just hearing words, you are receiving a lifeline, a divine alert that only a few will take seriously. But those few will be the ones who step into alignment while others miss the movement altogether. So what must you do? First, get quiet. Silence will be your best friend in these days leading up to the 17th and 18th. Not because you are hiding, but because you are tuning in. You need to clear the static of the world in order to hear what your soul already knows. Second, simplify your commitments. Don't overcrowd your spirit with noise. Say no to invitations that don't resonate. Trust your intuition, especially when it urges you to stay home, remain still, or fast from certain environments. You are being placed in divine preparation mode. Chosen one, this is also the time to review what is currently sitting on the throne of your focus. Where your attention goes during these days determines the strength of your discernment. If you allow fear to take that throne, you will be blinded. But if you allow stillness, peace, and divine wisdom to sit there, you will be guided through these dates with supernatural clarity. And that clarity will lead you to protection, positioning, and prosperity. The enemy is hoping you'll dismiss this, that you'll scroll past it, that you'll chalk it up as just another message. But deep down, you know this isn't just another message. This one has weight, this one has timing, and this one has your name written in it. When divine timing intersects with spiritual instruction, breakthrough is always close. You are being invited into that breakthrough. But breakthrough can only come to the prepared. You are not being punished. You are being refined. The tension you may feel right now is not a warning of destruction, but a preparation for something holy, something set apart, something only you can step into. And that's why July 17th and 18th must be treated like sacred ground. You're not avoiding them out of fear. You're approaching them with reverence, because you know the impact they hold. You know something is shifting. You feel it in your bones. You see it in the timing of this message. And it's no accident that you're hearing it now. There will be people around you who ignore this call, who laugh at divine preparation, who roll their eyes at the idea of prophetic timing. Let them. This message wasn't sent to the many, it was sent to the few. And you, chosen one, are part of that few. You've always known you were different. You've always felt the weight of your calling. You've always sensed that your life wouldn't be guided by logic alone, but by divine alignment. That's why this message hits different, because it's written in the language of your spirit. And this isn't the end of what's coming. This is only the setup. These 2 days are like hinges. What follows them depends entirely on how you respond. Doors can swing open to restoration, renewal, and revelation, or they can remain closed until a distant season. You have the power to choose, not by force, not by trying harder, but by trusting deeper. Trust what you're feeling. Trust what's stirring in your dreams. Trust what's whispering to you even now. And most of all, trust that you've been chosen to hear this message because God believes in you enough to prepare you before it happens. You won't be shaken if you are grounded, and you won't be caught off guard if you are alert. So, take this seriously, not with fear, but with the boldness that comes from knowing that the divine never sends a warning without also sending protection. You are not alone. You are not unprepared. You are not going to be left behind. You are going to walk through July 17th and 18th with your head held high and your heart grounded in faith. You are going to emerge from these days stronger, wiser, and more aligned than you've ever been, because you listened and because you believed. Something in your spirit is already stirring. Even now, as you read these words, something in your inner world is shifting. You're not imagining it. You're being spiritually stirred for a reason. When divine warnings come, they're never meant to crush you. They're meant to crown you with awareness. They lift you out of the noise and give you a head start. You, chosen one, are not just walking into days. You are walking into a divine moment that will test your ability to trust without all the details. July 17th and 18th are not random dates. They are spiritually charged markers that hold energy many won't understand until it's too late. They may feel like any other Wednesday or Thursday to the world, but to you, they're appointments with something eternal. This is not just about avoiding disaster, it's about aligning with power. These are days where things in the unseen are moving into your visible reality. Delays are breaking, hidden enemies are being exposed, and the foundation of your future is being rearranged behind the scenes. You may notice strange patterns around you as these days approach. People disappearing suddenly, unexpected messages, dreams that seem to carry strange symbolism, a sense that time is moving faster or slower. You're not losing your mind. You're catching the rhythm of something heavenly. You're being awakened ahead of time so you don't enter these dates unaware. God loves you too much to let you stumble in the dark. That's why this warning found you. Your obedience in small things right now matters more than you know. The decisions you make that no one sees. Those moments where you choose not to react, not to argue, not to engage. Those are the invisible seeds that will bloom into protection during these days. The quiet inner choices are shaping the loud outer outcomes. And on the 17th and 18th, you'll begin to see just how powerful your unseen obedience was. Because what you plant before those days determines what will survive after them. There's a temptation right now to dismiss this, to say, I'll be fine. But chosen one, this is not about fear, it's about reverence. The dates themselves are neutral, but what happens in the spirit realm on those days is not. There's a spiritual gate opening, and what you do leading up to it determines if you walk through with peace or with pain. You are being asked to fast from confusion, to detach from chaos, to silence every distraction and hold yourself in sacred stillness. Chosen one. What makes this even more serious is that you may not feel the full impact of these dates immediately. Some doors don't slam shut, they close slowly while you're distracted. Some breakthroughs don't explode. They slip through the cracks when no one's watching. That's why spiritual sensitivity is critical. You have to be awake. You have to be aware. You have to treat these days with divine caution. Not panic, but purpose. You may even be tested. Some of you will receive offers, messages, invitations, or emotional encounters on these very dates that seem harmless on the surface. But spiritually, they are traps. The enemy doesn't use obvious bait when he knows you're discerning. He uses distractions that feel good but pull you away from divine timing. He doesn't need to destroy your destiny if he can simply delay it. And delay is the most deceptive form of derailment. July 17th and 18th are not just about what happens in your personal life. They are collective, prophetic portals. These are days when a global spiritual shift occurs, but only those tuned into the divine will sense it. It's like a tuning fork, and heaven is struck, and only those who've emptied their distractions will feel the vibration. Your soul knows it. Your dreams may have hinted at it. The sudden need for solitude, the craving for silence, the exhaustion, all of it has been preparing you for these days. There will be a moment, maybe in the morning, maybe at night, where something will whisper to your soul to stop, pause, or pray. Listen. Don't ignore it. Even if you don't fully understand why, in the moment, trust the prompt. These little nudges are how the divine keeps you one step ahead. Don't let familiarity with your routine blind you to the fact that July 17th and 18th will not operate like ordinary time. What would normally be harmless may carry a different weight. The urgency in this message comes from love. You are not being threatened. You are being lifted into awareness, into sovereignty, into readiness. God wants you to be in position when the wave comes. Because on the other side of that wave is not just breakthrough, it's clarity. Clarity that will reveal who is for you and who was only nearby for the ride. Clarity that exposes opportunities you never saw before. And most of all, clarity about your next right step. These days are sacred, not because they look different, but because they feel different. They call something out of you. They expose parts of you that are still healing. They test your willingness to slow down and obey when there's no explanation. That is the highest form of spiritual power. The ability to trust God without full sight, to move in alignment without needing applause, to shift in silence and still be secure. You may be asking, what if I don't know what to do? That's exactly the right posture. The goal is not to figure everything out. The goal is to remain aligned, to remain available, to remain sensitive. Let go of your need for control. Your clarity will not come from planning. It will come from surrender. These dates are divine filters, and what cannot pass through will fall away. That includes relationships, plans, habits, and even false dreams you were never meant to carry. You will feel lighter, clearer, more certain after this window, if you honor it. If you give space for divine communication to occur. If you let yourself be re-centered, not rushed. If you allow yourself to retreat from the noise and recalibrate in quiet. What comes after these days will require your full capacity, your clarity, your discernment, your peace. So don't fight the stillness. Lean into it. Let it teach you how to hear again. This is your spiritual heads up. This is the divine saying, I trust you with the truth before the timing. That's why you're receiving this message now. You've proven that you are willing to listen before everyone else understands. That is a gift, a rare one. And that gift is what will guide you through the tension of these prophetic days. Because yes, they will come with tension, but that tension will birth something unshakable in you. What's on the other side of July 17th and 18th is not just change, it's divine confirmation. Something will become clearer. Someone will be revealed. A direction will make sense. A decision you've been delaying will feel urgent. Because now you'll know. Now you'll sense the timing in your spirit. Now you'll realize why you had to wait and why you were told to prepare. This is your moment of turning. Not turning around, but turning toward the version of you that's ready, toward the path that's open, toward the wisdom that's been waiting. This is not a warning that leaves you worried. This is an announcement that leaves you ready, ready to step into the reality that has been held for you all along. And that readiness is what separates you. That's what proves you've been listening. And that's what activates what's next. There is something you need to understand now, chosen one. When prophetic days are revealed, they are not just about warning, they are about activation. Something deep within you is being stirred so that your spirit, your senses, and your destiny are all realigned. You are not merely avoiding destruction, you are preparing to inherit something sacred. The 17th and 18th of July are not a threat. They are a doorway. And the only ones who walk through are those who recognize the knock. These dates will create a spiritual shift. Not just externally, but internally. They will expose everything that can no longer be part of your elevation. And for you to rise, you must release. Release the old narrative. Release the old fears. Release the comfort zones that have kept you from the stretch that is necessary for your next level. These are pruning days, days of divine refinement. You'll feel things cutting away. Let them. Let go willingly. Let go faithfully. Because the weight you're feeling right now isn't a burden. It's a sign that transformation is near. You don't feel this intense pressure for no reason. You don't hear this message by coincidence. These are divine cues that heaven is shifting things on your behalf. You are being set apart for something that can only be birthed in the absence of noise. And that's why silence is your friend in these days. It is in the stillness that divine instructions flow like water. July 17th and 18th are not about random spiritual energy. They are about alignment with exact timing. In the spiritual realm, dates matter. They are access points, keys, timed locks in the heavens that release power when the right soul approaches with reverence. You, chosen one, are that soul. You are being invited to handle those keys carefully. You are not like everyone else. You can't approach these days casually. You are carrying something heaven wants to unlock. But you must also understand this. Not everything that appears during these days is meant to be accepted. Some offers will look divine, but they are decoys. Some voices will sound familiar, but they are distractions. Some paths will seem right, but they will lead to loops you thought you'd escaped. That is why your discernment must be sharper than ever. If your spirit feels uneasy, pause. If your peace is disrupted, retreat. If something feels rushed, reject it. Because pressure is not your guide, peace is. The enemy knows what's at stake, and during these days, he will try to bait you into emotional traps. Watch for conversations that pull your energy. Watch for unresolved conflicts that suddenly reappear. Watch for people from your past who bring chaos masked as closure. July 17th and 18th are spiritual battlegrounds. If not outside, then inside. And the way you win is not by fighting harder, but by standing firmer. Hold your ground in peace. Anchor yourself in awareness. You'll begin to feel more than you can explain. Certain atmospheres will feel heavy. Certain rooms will feel noisy, even if silent. That's your spirit speaking. Don't ignore it. Don't override the signals just to be polite. Don't stay in places that cost you your clarity. These are not days to entertain confusion. These are days to guard your energy like it holds your entire future. Because in a way, it does. You'll also feel a divine discomfort, a sense that something must be done differently, or something must finally be surrendered. Do not resist that pull. That's God preparing your heart to align with something greater. The discomfort is not punishment, it's prophecy in motion. You are being unsettled because your spirit cannot stay where it was. You are evolving, and these days are accelerating that evolution. Even your physical body may react. Some will feel fatigue without cause. Others may experience deep sleep with vivid dreams. Some may have moments of sudden nausea, head pressure, or heart sensitivity. These aren't medical issues, they are spiritual indicators. Your body is responding to a shift in the atmosphere. You are being calibrated. Don't resist it. Embrace it with faith. Let your body and soul flow with the changes instead of fighting them. The enemy is loud, but God is consistent. While chaos may rise externally, peace will rise internally for those who are listening. You don't need all the answers. You need alignment. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be obedient. Because obedience is what activates the protection over your life. And during July 17th and 18th, obedience is the shield you will walk with. There will be moments during these days when you will feel like speaking, but you must remain silent. There will be situations where reaction seems natural, but stillness is more powerful. These are days when self-control will be your secret weapon, and your silence will protect more than your words could ever defend. Stay grounded. Stay prayed up. Stay hidden if needed, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You'll also notice that some people will suddenly withdraw from you. Don't panic. This is part of the divine reordering. Every shift requires a shedding. Every elevation requires exposure. Not everyone can walk through the same door you've been assigned to. Let them go in love. Detach without resentment. Understand that divine separation is not personal, it's prophetic. What God is doing in your life requires sacred space. This is also a time to revisit your instructions. Go back to the last thing God told you to do. Was there something left unfinished? A move you hesitated on? A message you didn't act on? These 2 days are for recalibration. What you don't complete now may be delayed until another window opens, and that could be months away. So act boldly. Finish what was started. Honor what you've already received, and the next instruction will follow. Your intuition will be louder than usual. Trust it. If something feels different, it probably is. If something feels off, don't dismiss it. These are days where even the smallest prompt matters. That voice telling you to wait 5 minutes before leaving, that urge to call a certain person, that feeling to say no, it's divine. Honor the prompt. Your protection and breakthrough are often hidden in the small instructions that seem insignificant. The weight you feel is a holy pressure. The shift you're sensing is spiritual confirmation. And the discomfort is an announcement that the old is finally crumbling. The delay is over. The decision is here. The clarity is being revealed. But only for those who show up fully for these dates. And that's you, chosen one. You have not come this far to miss what's next. You've sacrificed too much, waited too long, endured too deeply. This is your moment to respond with full obedience and bold faith. These are not ordinary instructions because this is not an ordinary calling. What's coming after July 17th and 18th is sacred momentum. You'll move quicker, clearer, and lighter. But the gate you pass through must be honored now. Heaven has cleared the way. All that's left is your readiness. You're being pulled into position, not pushed, not pressured, but pulled by something unseen, something sacred. You can feel it, can't you? It's in the air around you, a shift so subtle, but so strong that even your thoughts feel different. There's a quiet intensity building, and even if the world doesn't feel it, your soul does. That's because the realm you belong to responds to frequencies the natural world doesn't hear. And right now, that realm is vibrating with urgency. July 17th and 18th are alignment days. They don't just demand your stillness, they demand your authenticity. These are days when pretending won't work, when masks won't hold, when shallow prayers won't resonate. These days require you to show up as you are. No filters, no performance, just raw, open-hearted presence before the divine. Because authenticity is the only thing that gets access through these gates. You can't enter destiny through deception, not even the kind you put on for survival. There will be an unveiling during these days. Something hidden will be revealed. This could be a truth you've been running from, a purpose you've been resisting, or even a betrayal that you never saw coming. But don't fear the unveiling. Truth always comes before transformation, And no matter how it shakes you, it will ultimately set you free. The spiritual realm doesn't expose to shame, it exposes to realign, to heal, to rebuild on stronger foundations. For many, these dates will feel like emotional earthquakes, not because disaster is falling upon them, but because they are being shaken loose from what they were never meant to hold. The feelings may overwhelm, but they will not destroy. Let the emotions come. Let them wash through you. Don't resist the tears, the silence, the reflection. The storm is not outside of you. It is cleansing you within. And from that internal cleansing will come external clarity. There is power in separation. These days are set apart because you are being called to come apart for a moment from everything that drains your discernment, the notifications, the opinions, the constant interaction. They must be silenced. You need this time to detox spiritually, not because you're broken, but because you're being fortified. If you numb yourself with noise, you'll miss the whisper. And on July 17th and 18th, it is the whisper that will guide your next step. You are going to notice divine interruptions, little glitches in your daily routine, a delayed appointment, a missed message, a sudden shift in energy. Pay attention. These are not setbacks. They are reroutes. They are the hand of God gently placing you back into the correct position. The days of you pushing through just to keep pace are over. These are not hustle days. These are holy days. Sacred time requires sacred awareness. Don't underestimate what your spirit is doing behind the scenes. Just because you aren't doing a lot externally doesn't mean nothing is happening. Your spirit is preparing the room before you walk in. It's paving the road before your feet arrive. That's why you may feel exhausted. Even without activity, rest is required because your inner world is in construction. The groundwork of destiny is being poured silently while your soul holds space. There will be a temptation during these days to run back to what's familiar, to revisit what's comfortable, to reconnect with what once felt safe. But the 17th and 18th are not days for regression. They are forward-moving days, and if you retreat now, you may miss the door that only opens once. Please hear this. There are certain doors that swing wide open during prophetic windows and never return in the same way. You must be alert, present, and aligned. July 17th and 18th are not a test you pass with performance. You pass them through posture, through how you position your heart, through the softness of your spirit, through your willingness to obey without complete understanding. Because divine instructions rarely come with full blueprints. You are not being asked to figure everything out. You are being asked to trust what you feel deep inside and to act from that place. Even nature may seem to respond. Watch for unusual weather, odd patterns, moments of silence in creation. These are not coincidences. The earth itself groans and shifts in response to divine timing. Animals may behave strangely. The sky may look clearer or heavier. The atmosphere may feel heavier or more open. These are signs that time has spiritually thickened, that the portal has opened, that you are walking through holy hours. Stay humble during these days. Stay watchful. Stay silent more than you speak. Because not everyone around you is tuned into what you're sensing. And if you try to explain, they may dismiss what is sacred. You are not called to convince them. You are called to obey what you have heard. Obedience will separate you in these days. Not talent, not skill, not appearance, just pure, quiet, reverent obedience. You may even notice your memory being stirred. Old moments, conversations, regrets, or forgotten ideas may resurface. That's not nostalgia. It's divine timing. Some of what you buried was never meant to die. And now, God is calling it back into your awareness because it's finally time to confront, heal, or complete it. Do not push these memories away. Sit with them, bless them, let them teach you. Then let them go if they're no longer meant to stay. There is such love in this preparation. Can you feel it? The divine is not angry with you. You're not being punished or warned with wrath. You're being guided, led, protected by advance notice. Only those God trusts receive preparation. You're trusted with this message because you're ready to hold it. You're ready to move differently. You're ready to step with purpose. And you're ready to see what others miss. This isn't about the 17th and 18th being doomsday. No, these are not days of destruction. These are days of decision. Sacred pivots in your timeline, where you choose clarity over chaos, discipline over distraction, stillness over striving. These dates are opportunities for prophetic reversal, where what was meant for harm gets rerouted into good, but only for those who are aligned enough to recognize and receive. Don't be afraid to fast during these days, whether it's from food, social media, people, or negativity. Let go of anything that clouds your clarity. Make space for the divine, because clarity doesn't come in noise. It comes in presence, and presence is the gateway to divine protection. When you make space for God, you invite heaven to work on your behalf in ways you'll never fully understand. The release of these days is not loud. It's quiet. It won't come with thunder. It will come with knowing, an internal shift, a peace that suddenly fills the room, a whisper that tells you you've made it through.